The season finale has arrived. The Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles will square off this Sunday at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona for Super Bowl 57. Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts face off in a much anticipated battle of quarterbacks. Will Eagles receiver A.J. Brown catch the game-winning touchdown? Or will Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce dominate the fourth quarter? Can Hassan Reddick pressure Patrick Mahomes, who is recovering from a high ankle sprain? And who will win MVP? With the Eagles and Chiefs playing in Super Bowl 57, the two number one seeds in the NFL playoffs are playing for a ring for the first time since the Eagles beat the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 52. While Philadelphia is hoping to make it 2 Super Bowl victories in 5 years, Kansas City is attempting to go 2 for 4. There are a lot of interesting storylines connecting the teams. The first is the fact Chiefs coach Andy Reid is facing his other longtime NFL employer. It's also a game featuring the Kelce brothers, Chiefs tight end Travis and Eagles center Jason. Also worthy of top billing is Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts, a battle between two MVP caliber quarterbacks. Everything about the matchup says it will be thrilling, tight, and difficult to call in the end. And tonight, on this season finale of TXN Sports World NFL Thursday or Saturday, we break down Super Bowl 57 from every nook and cranny. We started with 32 teams 5 months ago. And then in January, 32 was whittled down to 14. And then 14 was whittled down to 8. 8 whittled down to 4. And 4 whittled down to 2. Hello, friends, and welcome to the, I guess you could call it, season finale of TXN Sports World NFL Thursday, or as we started on Saturday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, and I am joined, as always, by good old MF, Michael Fletcher. We are awaiting the presence, perhaps, of Michael Bullock. If Bullock comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we will hope to have him back with us tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. Tonight, it's all about Super Bowl 57. We're going to break it down, as we usually do, following categories. Eagles offense versus Chiefs defense. Chiefs offense versus Eagles defense. X factors. Special teams. Coaching. Intangibles. And last but not least, our game and score prediction. Before we do that, though, let's set the table. Super Bowl 57 will be live this Sunday night, kicking off at 6:30. The game can be found on Fox. Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olsen, Aaron Andrews, and Tom Rinaldi, along with rules analyst Mike Pereira, will serve as your broadcast team. For those of you who are listening on radio, on Westwood One Radio, Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner will be in the booth. Laura Oakman and Mike Golick will serve as sideline reporters, and Gene Steratore will serve as the rules analyst. The Eagles, starting off, are opening up as a 1.5-point favorite, and it's obviously the first ever meeting when it comes to Super Bowl and postseason for these two teams, obviously. So with all that being said, let's dive right on in. Our first category tonight, Eagles offense versus Chiefs defense. The Eagles offense is difficult to slow down for many reasons. They can be a dominant rushing team behind the NFL's best offensive line, with Jalen Hurts joining the power running success, along with Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, and Boston Scott. They also can be a dangerous downfield passing team, with Hurts letting the ball loose to dynamic wide receiver duo A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. When the Eagles have protected Jalen Hurts and the ball, they haven't lost. The Chiefs got a couple key interceptions versus Joe Burrow from a one-dimensional Bengals offense in the AFC Championship game, they can't expect the same luxury with their pass rush in the Super Bowl. The Eagles poked holes in a dominant 49ers run defense because of their athletic blocking. The Chiefs also can expect to be exploited on the ground and will need to bend, don't break again for Steve Spagnuolo. It will be difficult to take either Brown or Smith away in coverage, and they also need to factor in a tough matchup versus tight end Dallas Goedert. The Chiefs' defensive strengths do not line up well with the Eagles' offensive strengths in a balanced, explosive attack. So with that, I give the advantage to the Philadelphia Eagles. I give the Eagles offense the advantage against the Chiefs defense. So with all that being said, good old MF, Michael Fletcher, come on in for the first of several times tonight as the Phil Simms to my Jim Nance. Now more than ever, do that thing I like. Hello, friends.
Yeah, well, the way that we got to break it down, if you're going to start out that way, then absolutely. You talk about the offense is so explosive, especially you got AJ Brown, you got basically a very good tight end, some very good runners, and then you got Jalen Hurts. And obviously, the one thing that you kind of wonder is, can the Kansas City defense figure it out? Now, they don't really do well with mobile quarterbacks, and that's a big liability. So, yes, if you're going to go in that round, obviously you give the Philadelphia offense the check mark on this one. So, Anthony, back to you.
All right, MF, and you'll be leading off on our second category. We're going to reverse course now. Chiefs offense versus Eagles defense. Who gets the advantage?
I got to go with Kansas City. This is where Patrick Mahomes, I guess I can now say it, the most valuable player of the NFL in 2022 just got announced just moments ago. Patrick Mahomes. And the thing is that when you look at the offense, you're thinking, oh, with no Tyreek Hill, that he's going to probably regress a little bit. No, he did not. He got even better. Travis Kelce, he had a great running attack. He had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but now he's got other weapons. He has Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He has some other receiving core. Travis Kelce is the anchor of that offense, and the offensive line is really good. But here's the problem. You're going up against the number one defense in all of the NFL. Better than any other team, better than any other squad that Kansas City is going to be facing. But with Mahomes, yes, he is limited, but because of the ankle injury, but he's getting better by the day. And as a matter of fact, they said he should be pretty close to 100% by Sunday night. And if that's the case, if Mahomes starts doing what he's been doing all year long, Kansas City will carve up this Philadelphia defense. So for me, I believe that the winner of this round, I'm going to give the advantage to the Kansas City offense. So, Anthony, it's yours.
The Eagles had 70 sacks to lead the NFL during the regular season, 15 more than the second-place Chiefs in that category. Their pass rush is deep and versatile and can get to Patrick Mahomes from the edge or the inside, often with only 4 men. The Eagles also have 2 fine corners outside in Darius Slay and James Bradbury. They also have gotten more rangy in coverage with safeties, linebackers, and extra defensive backs. Like their offense, the Eagles are complete on defense, where they also have the benefit of great depth. But it's still Patrick Mahomes, armed with Travis Kelce and other weapons he can use well in the middle of the field. Mahomes will spread the ball out and get it out quickly, and he'll be helped by Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, adjusting the personnel groupings to find the right matchups. On paper, the healthy Eagles should be able to limit Mahomes' big play ability with their sound back-end play behind the league's nastiest pass rush. Mahomes, however, figures to be a lot healthier in a couple weeks to get plenty of wins via more off-script plays. So MF, I agree. I also give the advantage to the Kansas City Chiefs offense in this round here. Next, we're going to talk about X factors. The Eagles will have limited surprises for the Chiefs. They have stuck with the toggling dual threat of Jalen Hurts because it works so well offensively, and trust that Jonathan Gannon will maximize his immense mix of talent defensively. They have a lot of A factors in their favor. The Chiefs need to find multiple X factors to help Mahomes and Kelsey. Deep threat Marquez Valdez-Scantling has expanded his repertoire to make key catches all over the field for Mahomes in the playoffs. They will hope Kadarius Toney and Juju Smith-Schuster can be healthy enough to provide more sparks in the Super Bowl. Either Isaiah Pacheco or Jerick McKinnon out of the backfield can have a huge impact with limited touches. So the advantage for me when it comes to X factors, I got to give it to the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's my thought on the X factors. So MF, I give it to Kansas City. What says you when it comes to X factors?
Man, when it comes to the X factors, I actually have to disagree with you. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. And the reason why I'm going to go with Philadelphia is, like you said, the defensive line is a little more deeper, a little more stronger. And then the offense, there's a lot of guys that we don't necessarily talk about. And one guy that we don't ever talk about is Miles Booby Sanders. I think he's going to be an X factor in this Super Bowl. I think Philadelphia knows that their run attack is going to be one of the key things in this game. And I do believe when it comes to that, I got to go with the running attack. And I love what Philadelphia does. Like you said, they are the most complete team. And I think, barring the major superstars, I think there's going to be a couple of guys who are going to shine in this game. So I got to disagree with you. I'm going to give the advantage to Philadelphia when it comes to the X factor. So, Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF, you'll be leading off on our next category, special teams. Who has the advantage?
Oh, this is tough. I kind of have to go, honestly, I'm going to go with, as far as special teams, I got to go with the Kansas City. Garrison Buckner has been unbelievable this season. He had some key moments. That kick in the AFC Championship game, Anthony, you know it, how clutch that was more than anything else. He is made for these kind of moments, and honestly, truthfully, I believe he's going to get it again. So for me, Kansas City has the advantage when it comes to the kicking. When it comes to the special teams, I give them the edge. So Anthony, it's yours.
The Chiefs are in the Super Bowl because they got a big punt return from rookie Sky Moore and a money field goal from Harrison Butker. Punter Tommy Townsend is a first-team All-Pro. Dave Taub is a wily, longtime special teams maven coaching them. The Eagles don't quite have the same 1-2 punch with their legs in fill-in punter Brett Kern and kicker Jake Elliott. They also have seen limited returns from Boston Scott on kickoffs and Britton Covey on punts. So, MF, once again, I agree. I go with the Kansas City Chiefs as well when it comes to special teams. Next category, coaching. Nick Sirianni, only 41 years old, has been a master motivator for the Philadelphia Eagles, weaving his team's attitude, personality, and togetherness within the fabric of Philadelphia. He has a brash and energetic new school style that has worked very well in 2 seasons. Although that's cool and the Philly Fanatics have embraced it, Sirianni and Gannon just don't have the same established savvy as Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, Steve Spagnuolo, and Dave Taub. Andy Reid gets through in his own way as a beloved players coach. Nick Sirianni simply cannot match Andy Reid's overall and Super Bowl experience. So with that, I give the coaching advantage to the Kansas City Chiefs. So give it to Andy Reid on that one. So MF, the coaching, who you got?
I'm with you. Kansas City, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, those two guys right there are absolutely monsters. They've been absolutely powerful. They've been absolutely amazing. They're the reason why Kansas City has been on this quote unquote dynasty run. I believe that with that, they're going to get better. They're going to be more polished, more everything. And they have the Super Bowl qualities. They've been to the big game already, so they know what to expect. They're not afraid of the moment. Where Nick Sirianni, this is his first major test. And the thing is, all year long, they've been playing with guys who've been, I don't want to say inferior competition, but they've had one of those easiest roads. Everybody's been talking about how easy Philadelphia's road to the Super Bowl has been. And now they're going up against literally one of the Mount Rushmore teams of the NFL of today. You know, we talk about the Buffaloes, we talk about the New Englands, we talk about Cincinnati, we talk about the Steelers. The Kansas City Chiefs in the last, I want to say, 5-10 years has become one of the most elite squads in the National Football League. And I really believe, Anthony, when it comes to this, one team's made for this moment and one team might be just glad to be there. And that's where I feel Kansas City has a major advantage, because multiple guys, many of their guys, have been to the Super Bowl. They've played in a game. They've won the game. Now they just want to try to get back. And plus, going into it, a lot of people have been kind of disrespecting Kansas City. So, you know, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, and all the coaching staff has been bringing that to the men, telling them, like, poking that to them, saying, hey, they don't believe you're going to win this game. They think that Philadelphia is going to run right through you guys. So no, the bulletin board material's been enough. So great coaching that will maximize the maximum effort on the biggest stage in the biggest game. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs on that one. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF. And this is our final category before we get to the big one, which is our game and score prediction. Final category, intangibles. Who do you give the edge to there, MF?
The intangibles, this is where I actually give it to Philadelphia. The reason why I think Philadelphia has the most intangibles, because of their depth. And that's the one thing that we talk about. Yes, Kansas City has some great players. Yes, they got some great moves. But the thing is that you even talked about it. The secondary is a lockdown thing. The front four of the Philadelphia defense are disruptors. They love to get into the edges. They love to use that offense. And then once you go into the offensive side of the ball, when you got A.J. Brown, you got, a really good tight end, and you got Jalen Hurts that can actually not just throw, but run and run effectively. No, I think the intangibles actually gives the advantage to the Philadelphia Eagles. So for me, because of their depth and how deep they are completely, for me, my pick is Philadelphia. So Anthony, it's yours. Philadelphia Eagles.
No one is surprised by the Kansas City Chiefs' presence in another Super Bowl. But the Philadelphia Eagles shocked most by jumping up from number 7 NFC wildcard to the best team in its conference, wire to wire, outlasting the San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and other familiar strong contenders. No matter the betting line in this game, the Eagles will consider themselves underdogs in the game because Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are on the other side, trying to win their second Super Bowl in 3 recent trips. That will play into the quote-unquote dog mentality that Nick Sirianni has been preaching to his players. The Chiefs got a little too much into the trash talk drama with the Cincinnati Bengals, and while the Eagles held off some frustrated extracurricular physical blows from the San Francisco 49ers, both teams have won the Super Bowl of late, so it will be about the team that plays the disrespected card better. And MF, I agree. I give the Philadelphia Eagles the advantage when it comes to the intangibles. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the main event, our game and score prediction. I'm going to start it off first. When examining the total personnel of both teams, the Eagles have the better offensive line and the better defensive front seven. They have more with which to help their quarterback, including the willingness to run and get him involved in doing so. Jalen Hurts has more reliable weapons, including his own legs, than Patrick Mahomes does. Both teams will be hard-pressed to force turnovers and can't hope that the opponent beats itself with key mistakes or breakdowns. Should just the Eagles and Chiefs just line up in a physical, well-coached, disciplined game with its share of big play flashes, the Eagles are the stronger team with fewer weaknesses. Jalen Hurts, much like Nick Foles in Super Bowl 52 for the Eagles, plays well with a lot of help, while Mahomes falls a little short, carrying his Chiefs one more time. I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning Super Bowl 57, and I believe they will do so by the final score of 31-27. The Philadelphia Eagles fly to the Vince Lump to their second Lombardi trophy in 5 years. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I don't know who could be the MVP. I mean, it could be anybody. I mean, the quarterback always is the odds-on favorite, Jalen Hurts. I mean, but you could also make an argument that maybe A.J. Brown could get it. Maybe Devontae Smith could get it. Maybe Miles Sanders or Kenneth Gainwell, somewhere in that department. But regardless, I got Philadelphia winning the Super Bowl. Final score for me, 31-27. The Philadelphia Eagles, and it's going to be fly, Eagles, fly to a second Super Bowl title in the last 5 years. But would I be surprised if Kansas City were to win this thing? Absolutely not. So there's not much more for me to say here. Goodall MF, Michael Fletcher. One more time. Do that thing I like as we wrap up what has been another great season of NFL coverage, whether it was on Saturday or Thursday nights here on TXN Sports World. I got Philly winning the Super Bowl 31-27. Who you got?
This is actually going to be a little more trickier because of the fact that a lot of people are saying the same thing. A lot of people believe that it's Philadelphia. But the thing is, I think Kansas City's going to do it. I think they're going to figure it out. I think they're going to play the game that they need to play. And the thing is that I believe that Kansas City's heard all about how Philadelphia is great and this and that. And the thing is that once we get going, I think Philly's going to jump out early. And I do believe they'll have a little bit of an early lead in the game. But I think once Mahomes gets going, he's going to heat up. And he is going to go absolutely crazy in this game. I think Kelsey's going to have a big game. I think the receiving core is gonna shine in this game. And when it's all said and done, I think the inexperience of the Philadelphia Eagles is going to cave under the pressure. I think either an INT or a late fumble is going to happen. And then Kansas City will put the dagger into Philadelphia once and for all and put them out of their misery and out of the Super Bowl. I disagree with Anthony. I have Kansas City winning Super Bowl 57 28-17 over the Philadelphia Eagles. So I got the Chiefs winning it, and I do indeed have Patrick Mahomes as the most valuable player of the Super Bowl. I think he'll go over 300 yards with 3 touchdowns in the game. I think the last touchdown will be a running touchdown just to cement it. I think Valdez-Scantling will get 1. I got Kelsey with 2, and that's the 2 touchdowns. And I do believe that's how it will end. So Kansas City wins it. Mahomes the MVP. Anthony, it's yours.
And now that I've thought about it, I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts to be the MVP for Philadelphia. I think he's going to have a 300-yard game as well. I could see 3, maybe 4 touchdowns for him. I think A.J. Brown's going to get 2, maybe 3, and maybe a rushing touchdown from Sanders or Gainwell or something like that. But nonetheless, I'm going with Jalen Hurts because usually they tend to give it to the quarterback anyway. So, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if it's someone other than the quarterback, regardless of who wins. So,
oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, because the quarterback tends to usually get it all the time.
Yeah, agree.
So
unless in a defensive game where there was a pick 6, that's only, or if somebody is a major disruptor, like how last year everybody was screaming that Aaron Donald should have been the MVP, and rightfully so.
Oh, of course.
Because he was a game wrecker in last year's Super Bowl.
Especially that last play. So
yeah.
That
last play, that should have sealed it for him. He should have won it right then and there.
But they ended up giving it to Cooper Kupp, a wide receiver. So we'll have to wait and see how they how this plays out. But we're of differing opinions. That's fair enough. And we'll see what happens come Sunday night. So with that, we wrap up another incredible season of TXN Sports World NFL coverage. We always start the season on Saturday nights because of our college football Thursday shows. And we move it up to Thursday once the college football season ends. Whether it was on Saturday or whether it was on Thursday, we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in and listening to these shows all season long. We very much appreciate it. And we cannot wait to do it again come next September when we do it all again for college and the NFL. So with that, we want to thank you, like we always do. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning into this season. This, you could certainly say, season finale of TXN Sports World NFL Saturday, Thursday, what have you. So with that, let's set the table. We'll next be with you at this time tomorrow night over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Rampage. We will review all of that tomorrow night. And then next week, Monday, we do it all again. We move it. We'll be back with you We'll be back with you on Monday night, right back here on the Tone 25 for another edition of Ridiculously Raw, as we will review Monday Night Raw's Go Home show for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, as well as my Tony's take on Impact Wrestling and NXT Level Up. Wednesday night, of course, Wednesday Night Madness, hosted by good old MF Michael Fletcher on his channel, Brace Fan 95, NXT, AEW Dynamite as always. And then next Thursday night, and for the next several months, for at least the next 6+ months or so, we return to our regulation episodes of TXN Sports World. And friends, we got a lot on the docket next week. We got a lot of things to get into next week. Of course, we will recap Super Bowl 57. We'll also recap NFL Honors that went down, that just ended a few minutes ago over on NBC. We'll announce all the winners, including the 2023 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. And I know good old MF Michael Fletcher, with a tear in his eye, is beyond happy as one of his beloved and one of his all-time personal favorite Miami Dolphins can finally call himself a Hall of Famer. And I know MF's going to have a lot to say about that next week. NBA trades. Oh, we've had a lot of big moves in the NBA. And we had a huge move in the NHL that our own MF made the bold prediction. He heard rumors about it. The rumors were true. Oh boy, that's all I'm going to say. if you're a New York Ranger fan, you're bouncing around like Tigger right about now. So, because this guy could be the answer. We'll have to wait and find out. So we'll get into that. And we will also preview, and then in a special NBA double main event, we will acknowledge the new king of the NBA, the new all-time leading scorer in the NBA, LeBron James. He is now the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. He made history the other night, and we will acknowledge the king and pay our respects in the first half of that main event. And then in the main event of the night, we will preview the NBA All-Star festivities with All-Star Saturday night and the All-Star game itself. And that just came to my mind. MF will have some very exciting news because the big three basketball is returning. And MF will set the table for that. The big three announced they will be returning for another season this summer. And MF is going to set the table for all that. So we'll figure out the order, but those are definitely what we're going to be getting into on our show next week. So when we return to our regulation TXN Sports World shows. So with that, until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF channel, Raceway 95, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, the First Lady, Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday, and until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching the season finale of TXN Sports World NFL Thursday/Saturday, our exclusive, detailed, complete preview of Super Bowl 57 right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one all season long, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.